Coming up this week on Cruisin'.
Paint, chandelier, and interior I haven't touched.
Chandelier? What are you gonna do with that?
My plan is to take it to the drive-in movies.
Why didn't I think of that? Here's a stunning baby bird.
Ladies like the color.
That is a nice color.
Actually, that's what drew me to it in the first place, was the color.
Hey, that's not the same car, but it is a very unique color. Plus,
guys want to have that nice finish. This is what they're looking for. This is what you want.
Mike shows you how to get that professional finish in Mike's garage. How many times have you seen Cruisin'?
Oh, probably 20, 25.
Ready for another episode?
No.
Oh, come on. Cruisin' starts right after the show's already started. This week on Cruisin', we go south of the border. Well, kind of. We're here in Rootstown, Ohio at the weekly Rancho Cruisin'. I'm Will Bird, and there's plenty of cars to check out and plenty of good food to eat, so why don't we get started? All right, Josh, well, this is a pretty awesome ride you got here. What is it?
It's a 1971 Pontiac Le Mans.
How long have you had it?
Had it for 4 years now. It's almost twice my age.
Have you been able to drive for 4 years? You don't look like you're that old.
Yeah, I've been driving for quite a few years. This is my first car, though.
Really?
Yeah, that I had ownership in. Kind of drove down and picked it up and been driving it ever since. Was it something you were looking for, or did you just kind of stumble across it? Yeah, I was looking for actually 2 years before I found this. And I had my heart set on a 1966 GTO that was way out of the price range, and I stumbled across this and couldn't beat it.
Where'd you end up finding that?
It's from the south of Ohio in Greene, and took a 4-hour drive down just to go check it out. Didn't know if I'd buy it, but came home with it.
Now, was the chandelier with it when you bought it?
It actually was, yeah. The paint, chandelier, and interior I haven't touched, and they haven't been touched since the 80s either, but everything else has been pretty much worked on except for that.
So you could have a romantic candlelight dinner in there underneath that chandelier.
Well, my plan is to take it to the drive-in movies. So that's usually when I put it up, that and car shows.
There you go. Did you name it Pure Pleasure, or was that all included?
That was on it. I named it Lemest, last name, and Le Mans kind of went together. So it's a license plate. And that's mowed a couple of lawns, obviously, but.
Very nice, very nice. The paint job is, it's got like rainbow sparkles in it there. I like that.
Yeah, heavy metal flake.
Heavy metal
That's
flake?
what that is, yeah. It's got to hit the sun just right, otherwise it just looks dusty.
So the inside is like classic music with the chandelier. The outside is heavy metal.
Yep.
There you go, a little bit best of both worlds there.
Best of both.
So how old are you?
I'm 24.
24? Now, when people see you riding this around, you're like 24 years old, they gotta be like, that's your dad's car, right?
Actually, he interviewed me before I could actually buy it. He
Really?
interviewed a couple people. He wouldn't let it go to a dealer or anything, so I had to go through an interview process just to get the car.
What did he ask you in the interview?
He asked me how I drive, what I drive, and what I wanted to do with the car.
Was there something in particular you said that won him over, you think?
Not necessarily. He just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to sell it or, crash into a tree or something.
So it's almost like sending a puppy dog to a good home. You had to make sure it went to the right farm.
Yeah, exactly.
So was it the 80s? I mean, is that what kind of attracted you to the car itself? I mean, because it's got that vibe.
I was always into the 70s muscle cars, and this wasn't too far off. I mean, you see these driving around then anyways. They had them through the 80s, and that's when he decided to do this to it. But I just ran with it. It looked good. And
so are you, is this a keeper for life, or are you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I don't know if I could ever put an amount on selling it. It's my baby.
Yeah. Has anybody ever offered you anything to buy it?
Oh, they asked if it's for sale, and I instantly turned them down.
Yeah.
So.
And they're like, geez, this kid's a tough cookie to crack, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Russ, what do you got here? It's a little different than what we usually see at the cruise-ins.
75 Dodge van, old hippie van.
Hey, now, when did you get this thing?
I bought it in 1975, Chapel Hill Dodge, Akron, Ohio.
Brand new?
Brand new.
Wow, and you've driven it to this day, huh?
Yes.
Now, what's cool about this van, obviously the outside's cool too, but the inside is insane. I love it, with all the fur and the bed in the back. Did you do all that to it?
Yes, I did in 1975. I haven't changed it.
So it's the exact same the rest of the way, huh?
Yes.
The stories the inside of that van could tell, probably, huh? Oh, you showed me the stickers on the windshield. You've been to a lot of van jams through the years.
Yeah, I used to belong to a van club in Akron, Ohio, in the 70s, early 80s.
How many van jams would you say you've been to?
Oh, probably 20, 25.
What makes a good van jam?
Partying.
Yeah.
The vans, everybody brings their show vans. The bands all night long.
So this van has seen its share of partying over the years, huh?
Oh yeah.
Now is it original engine and everything in there too, or?
No, I put a new motor in this past winter. It's right at 100,000 miles now.
How about the wheels? I mean, they are those
bought
original
those in '75 and it's the same ones.
Wow. So it's I mean, how many miles do you think this van has seen?
It's 100,000. It's almost 100,000 right now.
Really? Now, when you originally bought this, I mean, was that the idea when you bought it? Was to
Yes,
lay
it
out?
was an empty van, nothing in it when I bought it. One seat, AM radio.
It was the 70s. You can't really explain a lot of things that happened back then.
No.
So tell us a little bit more about, you got the spoiler on the back that came with it as well?
No, I put it all on. I had the vinyl top put on in Akron trim. Did the vinyl top, I think, like in '76.
And you have the octagon windows in the back that match the octagon steering wheel as well. Those are a little different.
Yes, yeah. I put those in '75.
Now, did you grow up wanting a van? Is that kind of?
No, just that era. You know, in the '70s they started coming alive, and I just wanted one then. First new vehicle I ever bought.
I got to imagine when you go places, a lot of people come up and go, man, I spent some great years in my youth in a van like that.
Yeah, I get a lot of stories from different people. I remember when.
Some of them you couldn't share on TV, I'm sure.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for showing us your van. It's great.
All righty, thank you.
Coming up.
The mice got into it and ate half of it.
So not only is it good looking, but it's delicious too.
Yeah, it is.
Looks good, tastes great. Next on Cruisin'. Now back to Me Rancho Tuesday Night Cruisin' on Cruisin'. All right, Jim, why don't you tell us what you got here? What's your ride?
This 56 Thunderbird, this is what they call the baby bird. They made him 3 years. It's been modified a little bit.
Now, how long have you had it?
About 10 years.
About 10 years. Where'd you get it?
I bought it from one of the swap meets in Pennsylvania.
Was it something you'd been looking for a while?
Yeah, in fact, the guy bought it just when I was going to buy it, and then he drove it back, and I bought it from him.
Is it something you've been looking for a while before that?
Yeah, I had one as a kid in about '58, and they said you can't go home again, but I guess you can if you build it like you had it back then.
What attracted you to this car? Was it just the nostalgia?
Yeah, I guess you'd call it that. It's old school. I built it up with the same engine that was in it when we used to soup them up back in the '50s.
So how much work have you done to it?
Mostly assemble. I had a good friend rebuild the engine and another good friend paint it, and I helped them put it back together.
Well, it's almost like a celebrity-looking car. I mean, do you get that look when you ride around town in it?
They like the color. Ladies like the color.
It's a lady magnet, I can imagine.
It seems to be, yeah. Not me, it's the car.
What is the color? Like, what is the actual?
We call it a banana yellow or a Mercedes yellow. Sounds better, the Mercedes yellow, but it was kind of a mix, and then we put pearl in it, and then the pearl gives it the white color in the sunlight. And there's some graphics on it that you don't see unless the sun's on it.
It's almost creamy looking.
Yeah, it's a blue pearl, so it turns blue-white in the sun.
Oh, wow, very nice. And the wheels are amazing. Are those, I mean, is it similar to what you had back in the day too?
Yeah, no, those are aftermarket wire wheels.
What other modifications have you done to it?
Well, I call it a mild custom. We modified the engine and bored it and put a cam in it and 3 carburetors, and on the car we did a custom front end on it, custom grill. It's got Mercury station wagon tail lights in it. The bolts on the bumpers have all been smoothed in, and it's a lot of subtle stuff you don't know till you look at it.
Now, is that kind of one of your passions, those little details of the car?
Yeah, I like cars that are different. Something that you don't see very often.
Now, you showed me the model you have in the trunk too, the case model. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a model of the car. Took pictures and made it a model. So it's the actual car in a model form.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So now is this the second one you've had, second Thunderbird?
Yeah, I had one in 1957, and I tried to, other than the pearl we didn't have back then, the pearl paint, I tried to build it like I had the one in 57 that we used to drag race.
Oh, you used to drag race too, huh?
Yeah.
What's the fastest you ever got it up to?
Well, the one I had then, back in then, 14 seconds and a quarter mile was good back then. That's about what that one turned, but I've never raced this one, so I don't know.
You ever I'm sure you pushed it a couple times in the freeway. What do you got this one up to?
Yeah, just to get out of somebody's way once in a while.
Do you take it to a lot of car shows and cruising?
Yeah, I don't have a top for it, I have a hard top, and I have to leave it home, so I stayed at the sunny days.
Yeah. So you're strictly a good weather cruising guy.
This one is, yeah, I have other cars for when it's going to rain.
Well, there you go. I appreciate you showing us your ride. It's very nice.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it.
All right, sure. That's an awesome ride you got there. Tell us what that is.
Thank you. It's a 1937 Ford pickup. It's got a 454 Chevy engine in it with a 671 blower.
How long have you had it?
I've had it about 8 years.
8 years? How'd you come across it?
We bought it off of eBay.
Tell us about the color. I mean, the color is amazing, especially
It's called Orange Glow. It's a PPG color. It has the silver metallic base to it, and then the tan above it, and the clear coat, 2 coats of clear coat on top.
Did you paint it yourself, or was it already that color?
No, it was already this color. Actually, that's what drew me to it in the first place, was the color.
Now, were you always looking for a truck, or was it was you looking for something else?
No, I just like something different and unique.
So it's and I love the engine out. So do you drive it around day to day, or?
Yeah, I drive it all the time.
Yeah. Do people turning their heads real quick?
Oh
and
yeah,
rush you?
yeah. The color gets the attention, that's for sure.
So how much work have you had to actually put into it?
We've added the blower and we redid the bed of the truck, and at the time that we bought it, it only had a 5-gallon tank behind the seat. So we added a 15-gallon fuel cell in the bed, and then we made a stainless steel cover for it. And we've added the blower, and we had to redo the interior because in our garage where we stored it, the mice got into it and ate half of it. So we redid the headliner and a couple of the door panels.
So not only is it good looking, but it's delicious too.
Yeah, it is.
I love the wood grain in the bed. Was that your idea? Did you guys put that in?
That was already there. We just refinished it, you know, so it made it a little bit darker. It was a little bit lighter at the time.
You have the wood grain inside too, so it's kind of the inside and out effect.
Right, right.
That's very cool. So this is what's the furthest you've taken? Do you take a lot of car shows?
I do, but I don't go real far. Yeah, I usually within 50 miles is all that I go.
What's the furthest you've taken it just to drive it anywhere?
Probably down to Columbus, down to the Nationals.
Yeah.
Good Guys Nationals down there.
I love the those back tires. I mean, they could flatten me like a pancake. How wide are they?
Pretty big, yeah.
All right, well, Sherry, thank you very much for showing us your car. It's great.
Thank you, thank you.
Coming up.
You can't build a high quality car anymore if you aren't wet sanding and buffing.
Give your car that mirror finish next on Cruisin'. Welcome back to Cruisin'.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is my garage. Today we're going to talk about something that I talk about quite frequently, and that's making the paint job all pretty by doing a wet sand and buff. You can't build a high quality car anymore if you aren't wet sanding and buffing. It's a pretty simple process, but also a time consuming process and something that takes some pretty good care. I've repainted this whole vehicle and I have sanded and gotten all that peel off. So I've already done the pre-sanding and started buffing some of the edges on this, but just to show you where we're at. Now, an orange peel, you know, is almost like it sounds. It looks like the peel of an orange. It has that ripply, bumpy. Well, after you take all those bumps out and you start with the smooth surface, there's where you go. Now, I always use the 3M compounds. A #1 compound, first cut, really will quickly bring it from that dull flat, taking away the shine, right back to a shine. but what it's doing is it's taking all those surface scratches out, but it's also putting some scratches in because it's a more aggressive cutting compound. Then you're gonna step it up to a number 2 compound, change to a black pad, and then you're gonna go to a number 3 compound with a blue pad, which is so smooth and it just puts a nice greasy finish on, and it just works out real well. You know, I've seen guys say, well, you know, I tried to buff with my buffer, and first thing I ask, is it a buffer or is it a polisher? A polisher that has an orbital motion will not do this. You will never get the shine back out of it. Those buffers are pretty much for applying wax, and that's about it. So we just put a little bit of compound on the pad. Right there, you see how pretty effortlessly that brings it back. Anybody can do this. What I suggest though is if you're gonna do this and you're not experienced, be careful, take your time. This is the part where everybody tends to rush also because, oh, your car's done. You wanna see it done. You wanna get there. You wanna be driving it already. You go too fast, you burn the paint. That's the biggest worry on buffing. Everybody worries about burning the paint. Don't really have to push a lot. Let the buffer do the work. If you do push too much, you can get warpage. You can get too much heat into the panel. You start getting that, you know, where you can move the panel around. It's not necessary. The buffer will do the work for you. This leaves a really nice greasy surface. This compound you do not have to go fully through. You buff it on, leave it a little hazy. Use a nice clean microfiber towel. Wipe it out through, and it turns out beautiful. And I always like to keep a nice detailer around for that splatter you're gonna get. You know, you can get all the little edges, the little stuff, polish her out, and you can easily see the difference from start to finish, where here you have that flat but dull finish, brought back to shine, smooth, beautiful. Guys want to have that nice finish. This is what they're looking for. This is what you want. Hope that all helped, and we'll catch you next week on Mike's Garage.
Coming up on Cruisin'.
This was the original color when I bought it 4 years ago.
So somebody else had your favorite color on their car.
Right.
How lucky is that? Coming up next on Cruisin'. Welcome back to the Me Rancho Tuesday Night Cruisin' on Cruisin'. All right, Des Moines, this is, first of all, the color of this car is amazing. Is your favorite color blue?
No. This blind you. This is sub-blind.
What kind of ride you got there?
Oh, it's a 37 Chevy, 350. Rides pretty good. Got a Mustang 2 front end, Camaro rear end. Rides pretty good going down the road.
How long have you had it?
4 years.
4 years, and how much work have you put into it?
Well, I'd say engine-wise a lot, and paint.
So was it this color when you originally got it?
This was the original color when I bought it 4 years ago at Randolph Fairgrounds.
So somebody else had your favorite color on their car.
Right, but it's very rare.
Yeah. So what's the name of the color?
Sublime. That's
Sublime.
today's color.
Oh, very cool. So it's a fun car. It's got to be one of those ones when you go out places. I'm sure the kids always want to.
They always know if I'm at a car show or not. If they look down the parking lot, they see me, they know I'm there.
You got all the Kermit the Frog in there and the frogs and stuff. Give it some personality too.
My son got me the Kermit the Frog because he knew the collar, and he got it for me for Christmas. And of course, I did it for the kids. All that stuff in there is for the kids.
And do the kids like to take pictures in all that stuff?
Up in Ravenna, at the pizza parlor, they come out and they want to know if they can take pictures of my car. I let them.
Oh, that's cool. So
I've had people sit behind the seat, pictures taken.
So it's not one of those don't touch it, stay away from it.
Well, they know better than climbing on the running boards and touching it.
That's your baby, huh?
Yeah.
So when you originally, was this something you were looking for? Like, were you seeking it out, or how did you come across it?
When I was down Randolph looking at all of them, I seen this color and I waited for the guy, started talking with him. set deal, bought it. He delivered it to my front door.
And what made you want to go out and get a classic?
My cousin Willie has a 55 Chevy. They want me to go out cruising with him. Next thing you know, the adrenaline started flowing. I went out and bought one of my own.
Oh, so you're a junkie now for it.
I'm a junkie.
Yeah.
I'm always going to car shows at least 4 days a week.
Is it so how much maintenance goes into it before you take it out for the car
check the
show?
water and the oil and everything and take off.
Yeah. It looks like you wax it every single day.
I've had the car 4 years. I've washed it once. The rest is wax.
Really?
Yeah.
So how often would you say you wax it?
Probably 3 times a week.
Does your wife get jealous you spend more attention on the wax than that?
No, she hasn't said anything yet.
Well, it's very cool. So you got the steering wheel cover in there too. You got it's kind of the motif all the way through. You got the wires on the engine as well.
Yeah, I just got those. I thought it would stand out the bottom.
Now, do you only have green shirts in that color? Is that the only?
Plenty of green shirts. Plenty of green shirts. When they see my green shirt, they know it's my car.
Well, it's an awesome ride, and we appreciate you showing it to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, that's it for us. The tacos have been eaten, the cars have been viewed, and we got to get out of here. We got to thank John and Federico from here at Mi Rancho. Every Tuesday night, what a great cruising they have here. And we got to thank Terry, the DJ from Senior Prom, who is moving the music up and down all day for us and keeping everybody entertained. And thank you for watching right here on Cruisin'. Until next time, we'll see you.